Hello everybody, long time no see. This is Eve Everett, and this time around I'm going to talk about what's sold on eBay, ephemera, art, crying pumpkins, and some other weird stuff. But first, a few odds and ends. First of all, don't you hate it when someone takes your food and eats it all? There's nothing worse than that, and I just thought this was a great series of pictures where this poor cat is discovering that the evening meal is no longer his evening meal. I just feel terrible for this cat. Look at that poor face. Like, Mom, Dad, help me out here. Anyway, I just thought it was a great picture. Can you tell I love cats? Okay, so to me, this is a little odd. I mean, doesn't everybody want a pink candy jar with a cat on it sleeping in a bed? Sure. Actually, this is quite a popular item for Fenton for many years. This is the Chessie the Cat pink candy jar, and I put mine up for about $120. Took me about 5 months to sell it, and I sold it for $90 plus shipping. Yep, that is a ceramic crying pumpkin. I picked this up about 2 years ago, and just something about it just really strange. Whoever painted it didn't do such a bad job on it, and I never saw a ceramic crying pumpkin before. Finally, I did put it up. I really didn't know how to price it. I have never seen anything like it since. So I stuck it up at $39.99, and it immediately sold in about a day and a half. All right, so let's talk about ephemera. First of all, this is a Stories of Old Newcastle booklet, and I put this up, and it sold in about 2 months I took a best offer of $12. Now, that's a pittance, I realize, but this was a booklet, and it sold fairly quickly, so I did not mind that at all. I shipped that media mail too. Here we have a very old recipe booklet from Trilby's, which was a restaurant in Mississippi. This is basically about 3 pages long, tattered, but it had some nice pictures in it. And I posted that, took about 2.5 weeks to sell, and I sold it for $20. Here we have 2 mid-century Cairo, Egypt tourist maps by a Khalil Kamil, and they had some tears and some stains on them. So I lotted 2 of them together, and I sold them for $20. Took me about 2 months to move them. Alright, so I probably should have thought of this, but I had no idea how expensive mid-century Disneyland maps can be. Here we have a 1958 Disneyland B version map, and although it had folds in it, some wear and tear, I was able to get $239 for it, and it took me about, a month and 3 weeks to sell it. Here we have some 1940s heavy waxed paper, and by a company named Perkins. Some really neat mid-century designs, and I was looking to sell it primarily for the prints on it, but I ended up getting $35 for it. One of these days I'm going to have a whole series on just bad photos that somehow sell anyway. This is pretty darn dark. Anyway, this is a vintage Hallmark Pink Roses and Daisies stationery set, and I sold this for $15. Took me about, I think it took me a little under 6 months to sell. Here we have a set of Pepperidge Farms Remembers note cards and some recipes, and I sold this for $20. Took me about, it only took me about 3 weeks to sell this too. Sold this for $20. When I can find mid-century catalogs from like Montgomery Ward's and Sears, I really enjoy picking them up. They're fun to look at, and if you're patient, you can sell them for a decent amount of money. This particular catalog is the Winter 1956 catalog from Sears, and I sold that for $49.99, and it took me about a little under 7 months to move it. This is a pink flower paperweight by Adolph Macho. He was out of Millville, New Jersey. He specialized in floral paperweights, although he made many different types. These sell the best. And I listed this, and it sold in under 3 weeks for $70. Well, actually, I took a best offer of $70. I think I put it up for like $95. All right, don't forget your lids, people. People love their lids because they break or they get lost. So when you can, sell some lids. This is a Fire King lid, and I sold this for $35. Took me under 6 months to sell. Here we have a Fenton Blue Burmese Flowers miniature basket. Came with the box. Was about 5.5 inches tall. And out of all of the types of items Fenton makes, Blue Burmese is one of my favorites. I still did sell it though. I didn't keep it. Slippery slope, people. And I sold it for $45 plus shipping. It took me under a month and a half to sell. Here is a very cute little doll that you can pick up that a lot of people seem to be looking for these days. It is a Eden Toys musical wind-up sleeping doll, and I got 20 bucks for it. Took me about a week and a half to sell. And if you'll look, you'll see the prices. That's about as much as you'll get from them, but they're very popular, they're very easy to ship, and people love them. Alright, so let me tell you a little story about the flaming negative feedback that I got for this fringe. 2 strands, each strand was 18 inches long, and I shipped it, fairly uneventful sale, $39.99. And I shipped it to her. She got this and apparently was extremely unhappy, had a huge meltdown about it, and left me negative feedback, calling me a liar and all kinds of horrible things. This person was extremely irate because the color, they claimed that the color on their computer screen did not match what they received, and they called me a liar and all kinds of wonderful names. And just as I went to call eBay, I checked again and the negative feedback was gone. I got an email saying, hey, I'm really sorry for what I did. It was wrong of me to do. I just couldn't control my anger and I regret it, so I removed the feedback. So, whew, I avoided that and I'm glad she removed it. It was bad. I enjoy selling vintage Olympic game items. I just think they're neat. They look neat, they have character. I just have a lot of fun with them. This is a 1964 Olympic Games travel bag. Has Tokyo on the other side, and I sold this for $39.99. It took me a little under 2 months to sell it, and I shipped that to France. Here we have a Drag Me to Hell movie production baseball hat that was given out to the crew and people as a movie promo, and I sold this for $39.99. And it looks like it took me about a little under 7.5 months to sell. Alright, so this is probably another top 10 of terrible pictures I've taken this year. Anyway, this is a Antique Greek and English Lexicon, 3rd edition. And as you can see, it's an old library book. And it's taped together and everything else. I listed it and I sold it for $49.99, took it best offer at $42, and it took me a little under 7 months to sell that. Here is a very interesting Jasper Johns signed book that comes complete with activity and paint and brush for the buyer, and they're a limited edition from the 1970s. I picked this up for $1 and I sold it for $89.99. And that took me it took me almost 3 months to sell. And to wrap things up for now, this is that Zapotec Indian hand-woven runner or rug that I was scratching my head over at the Scavenger Life forums some time ago. And I listed it for $189 and I took $120 for it, shipped it to Kansas in under 9 months. All right, everybody, see you soon, and have a good time out there. Good hunting.